Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of MEW or Matt's Extreme Wrestling, where today we have for you my Extreme Rules 2022 results. Yesterday we did do the predictions, and I did terrible at predicting this. I only predicted 2 matches correct. So, over the last couple pay-per-views I've done very well, and this one I somehow did not do good at all. But, that's okay. Some of my predictions may have been wrong, but what a night. I mean, what a night we had at Extreme Rules. Every match was a stipulation, and it was entertaining. I was glued to my TV the whole night. I couldn't take my eyes off for a second, because literally I was so entertained that it's not even funny. But we're going to run through the whole card, and I'm going to tell you guys the results, some moments that happened in the match, and yeah. So, let's dive into the results for Extreme Rules 2022. Alrighty guys, and the first match of the night, I actually predicted the first match correctly, was the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, and this was a very good match. It was extremely entertaining. Probably 2 of the hardest hitting factions that are out there. Just these 2 can go. These 2 teams can go, and oh my god, it was just a slugfest. I mean, it was brutal, it was violent, and it was really good. Sheamus's chest and back were lit up like a Christmas tree from how much damage he was taking. He even powerbombed Gunther through the announce table. And we saw the same thing. Gunther had a shillelagh, and he actually hit the clothesline with it, which he was able to retain the Intercontinental Championship on Friday Night SmackDown. He was not able to entertain. Sheamus kicked out. At the end of the match, they were all holding up one of the members of Imperium. I don't really remember the other names. I just know of Gunther and the other 2. I don't really remember. I think it was like Vinci is I think it's the one that Sheamus bro-kicked to get the 1, 2, 3. So the Brawling Brutes did win the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match at Extreme Rules. So there's one prediction I got right. So yeah, the Brawling Brutes defeat Imperium at Extreme Rules. Alrighty, and up next, I honestly thought this match would have main evented, but I prefer the match that main evented instead. We had Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey, and this match was also hard-hitting and physical. This was an Extreme Rules match. The bat came into play early in the match. And basically Ronda Rousey got a hold of the bat from Liv, and she was basically beating Liv with the bat, and you could see Liv had a bat-shaped bruise on her stomach. That is how badly that they were beating each other with this bat. But then Liv pulled out a table and did the same thing that she did to Lacey Evans a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. She put Ronda through the table. 1, 2, and Ronda kicked out. And then basically everybody calls this match a botch fest because the ending was all over the place. So Ronda tried to put Liv in all sorts of weird, like, submission holds, and then finally she got her in this weird submission hold where, like, her leg, it's kind of like Carmella's old signature or old submission hold that she used to do, where, like, her legs are, like, around, but literally Ronda's legs were around the midsection of Liv, and one of them was around her throat, and basically she choked out Liv. So Liv never tapped, she was never pinned. She was smiling the whole time, but she passed out. And I don't know how this is fair, but the ref called for the bell, and we have a brand new, I hate doing this. I loved Liv Morgan as champion. I hated Ronda as champion. But this pains me to do, Liv's 98-day reign is over. Ronda Rousey is your brand new SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't agree with that decision. I think Liv had so much more to prove as champion. I mean, she was champion for only 98 days. She couldn't even get to 100. And I don't agree with the decision, but at least both people looked strong. But other than that, yeah, Ronda Rousey defeats Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. Up next was the strap match. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross, and already in the beginning, Karrion Kross playing the mind games. Wouldn't even put the strap on, and Scarlett played interference. Basically, Scarlett played interference for most of this match, and that's how it ended. So basically, they were just beating each other with the strap. Drew McIntyre hurt his shoulder, it looked like, so he was wounded very early on in the match. Finally, Drew McIntyre got Karrion Kross beaten down enough to where he could put the strap on him, and the match could officially begin. And yeah, it was basically just a slugfest with the strap, and I was wrong about the rules. They changed them, and I also remembered that the very last one was actually at the Royal Rumble last year, and it was Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, so I finally caught myself on what was the right match and everything like that. But yeah, anyway, so honestly, I thought Drew McIntyre had this match won. He was about ready to hit the Claymore. Scarlett got in the ring, and it basically stood in front of him. Drew McIntyre wasn't having any of it. He basically walked around her. She turned Drew McIntyre around and sprayed him with police-grade pepper spray, which allowed for Karrion Kross to deliver I forget what but it looked like a reverse forearm to the back of the head. Pinned Drew McIntyre, and the only reason that we found out that it was police-grade pepper spray was because Corey Graves read the label. But yeah. So, Karrion Kross defeated Drew McIntyre. Alrighty guys, and up next is the ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defending against Bayley. And this match was also really, really good. I honestly was expecting this match to do really, really good. It was a ladder match, which ladder matches are one of my favorite match types ever. And it was just really good. It was very hard-hitting, very physical. There was a really nasty spot where Bayley had Bianca over a ladder that was on top of the stairs and the barricade. And she basically hit her elbow. She didn't get all of it, and it looked really nasty. But, of course, and also, Corey Graves and Michael Cole mentioned Sasha Banks twice during Bianca Belair's entrance, so they're allowed to say Sasha Banks again. So I'm assuming we'll be seeing Sasha return very soon. I could only imagine. But anyway, towards the end, Bianca looked like she was going to get the victory, but then the rest of Damage Control, Io Sky and Dakota Kai, they came in and basically tried to stop that. They failed. They got a double KOD, I believe is Bianca's finisher, off the top turnbuckle. Finally, Bianca went to the top, and she is still the Raw Women's Champion. So, now looking back at my predictions, I do think this was a better move, because if Sasha does return, they can have Bianca versus Sasha, or they could just have Bianca versus anybody for the Raw Women's Championship. But yeah. So yeah, Bianca Belair retains the Raw Women's Championship. Alrighty guys, up next is the I Quit match, Edge versus Finn Balor, and this match did not disappoint. They fought all over the arena. There were hockey sticks involved and everything. Edge had a really cool Halloween gear. He had like black and orange, which was really, really cool. I absolutely loved Edge's gear. Finn Balor wore a mask to the ring and took it off. And he had, like, studs all over it. He had one eye that he could see out of. You could see the mesh over the eye, which I thought was a little weird. Oh, yeah, also, Liv Morgan had a really nice purple and green attire. And then Bianca had a really good attire. I'd like to see some new figures of those attires. But anyway, so basically everything's being used. Everything's being thrown at him. And towards I would say about the middle of the match, Edge has Finn Balor in the Educator, which I believe is the name, and that's an old submission hold that Edge used to use back in the day. Finn Balor saying I, and then out comes the rest of Judgment Day. They start beating down Edge, and Edge fights with Balor, tries to get back into it, and he just can't. Well, actually, he does, and he's leaned up against the turnbuckle, and Rhea Ripley comes in and handcuffs Edge Well, actually, before that, Rey Mysterio comes out to help them. He almost succeeds, but then Dominic Mysterio beats up his own father. And that was not a pleasant sight to see. That was absolutely not a pleasant sight to see. And basically, him and Edge are standing in the ring afterwards. He's pleading to Edge, saying, "I'm on your guys' side." He shakes Dominic's hand, but Edge goes low and kicks Dominic. Yeah, I'll let you guys fill in the rest. But yeah, Rhea Ripley handcuffs Edge, and they start beating him up. Beth Phoenix comes in and actually helps a little bit, but she gets Edge out of the handcuffs, and then Rhea Ripley hits Beth Phoenix in the back of the head with brass knuckles, and they're holding Edge. They're holding Edge, and they're gonna do a concerto on Beth Phoenix unless Edge says. But yeah, so Edge loses the I Quit match. He says I quit, and Rhea Ripley still hits the concerto on Beth. So I don't know where we're gonna go from here. I'm assuming that if Beth will return, I'm assuming there'll be like a mixed tag match later on in the future. But yeah, Edge loses, so Finn Balor defeats Edge in the I Quit match. Alrighty guys, and the main event of the evening, the Fight Pit match. Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle for the Fight Pit. This match was awesome. It was so hard-hitting and physical. These two are some of the most physical wrestlers in the game right now. I mean, Riddle wasn't holding back at all. They were all over the place. Riddle even hit an RKO. They climbed to the top of the cage and fought up there for a little bit. But what happened at the end was Matt Riddle hit a flying bro off the top of the cage to Seth Rollins. And then Seth got back to his feet, and basically Matt Riddle had Seth wrapped up in a triangle choke. And Seth was doing everything he could to get out he could, but then Matt Riddle fell, and he locked it in tight. And Seth could only tap. So Seth lost. So Matt Riddle wins the Fight Pit. And yeah, that was a good match. That was awesome. That's not even it. At the end, Matt Riddle and the official are celebrating at the top. The lights go out. And all of a sudden you hear, "He's got the whole world in his hands." And then you see an area in the stands light up. There's somebody dressed in the pig costume. They made a costume based on the puppet. And then all of a sudden it goes out, and then it happens again. "He's got the whole world in his hands." Another area lights up. I think it's Mercy the Buzzard is also up in the crowd. Lights go out again, or the little spotlight goes out again. "He's got the whole world in his hands." And all of a sudden, another area lights up. The bunny, I believe Rambling Rabbit. Lights go out again. "He's got the whole world in his hands." The spotlight goes to another area. Now, I don't know what this one looks like. It didn't look like the witch or whatever her name is. It almost looked like Sister Abigail. Lights go out. The spotlight goes out again. "He's got the whole world in his hands." All of a sudden you hear Michael Cole go, "What the?" And it looks like the Fiend's head, or at least the burnt mask, is laying on the announce table. Spotlight goes out again. "He's got the whole world." All of a sudden the barricade lights up over on the one corner where the entranceway is, where the wrestlers were first walking. The Fiend, when we last saw him, is standing there. And he's got his hood up, and he's looking. Light goes out again. And then all of a sudden, he's got the whole world in his hands, plays again, and then we're all of a sudden transported to the Firefly Funhouse. The lights are off. It's dusty. There's cobwebs, but there's a light behind the TV. You can see all the puppets laying in there. It looks like nobody's been there for a year because, you know, Bray Wyatt hasn't been there in a year. And then the TV turns on. There's a man in a white mask, but it's all colors and, you know, like static and everything like that. And then basically he basically says, who defeated the world? You did, or I forget what it was. But then a door appears. It opens, and Bray Wyatt comes out of the door, and we see him. Bray Wyatt returns to WWE, and what a way to return. This was by far show of the year so far. That is going to do it, everybody, for my results for Extreme Rules 2022. I hope you guys did enjoy the video today. If you guys did enjoy, a like and a comment is always acceptable, and subscribing to the channel with turning on that notification bell so that way you guys never miss a video here on the channel. Go follow my Instagram, and I will see you all on Wednesday for a brand new review. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and peace!